So, we today have Neal, who plays Mike Celluci.
Celluci. Italian name. I don't know why me, but yeah, Celluci.
One thing I wondered on how did you apply for the job? Did you apply for the Mike role, or did you apply for a cop role, or just it was a possibility that just sounded interesting?
No, it was a regular audition for me. My original audition was in Los Angeles, and if I remember, it was with the casting director and maybe a producer, I can't remember. And then I had a call back again in Los Angeles and I originally read for the Mike Celluci role. That was the only one that I really, fit. And I believe Peter Mullen was there at the second one. And then from that point, a little while later, I got the call that they wanted to take me to the final network audition, which was going to be held in Vancouver, where the show was shot. And so I flew up from Los Angeles, and we spent a full day of what's called chemistry testing. I believe there were 3 actors for each of the 3 main roles still in contention. So there were 3 actors for Mike, 3 actors for Henry, and 3 actors for Vicky. And we just switched each other all day long doing different scenes. And so you had the people there from the network and Insight Film, who was acting as the studio, and then the producers. And so they get to watch and see what coupling kind of made the best fit. And I took the longest for them to make a decision. I think they got Christina and Kyle pretty quickly out of that, and then it was down to me and one other actor from Vancouver who they just couldn't decide on for the role of Mike. And so I think it took 2 weeks before they finally settled on me for the role.
And how did you prepare for the role of
Mike? There was really no preparation in that.
So you didn't read the books?
No, I purposely didn't read the books. As I've mentioned before, once a book is optioned and then turned into either a movie or a TV series, it really has very little to do with the book, ironically. I mean, that may not sound like it makes sense, but once it becomes a film project, it's really in the hands of the showrunner. And so, regardless of what's being portrayed in the book, what's important for me is what's going to be on the page with the scripts each week, because that's what I've got to fulfill. And I knew that from what I gathered from the books, my portrayal was going to be a little bit different. I wasn't going to be as tough, maybe as gruff a character as Tanya had written, so I didn't want to be influenced by that, and I just had to trust my own instincts as to which direction I was going to take the role.
So we learned that you're not just an actor, but you do also do teaching or train for actors, I guess. But you're also working as designer, maybe even as writer. That was something that.
Well, I like to do a variety of things. The last couple of years, I've also been teaching, and I found that it's something I really do enjoy. I didn't think I ever would, but since I've been in Vancouver, and I don't remember how it originated, but I got hooked up with an acting school called Van Arts, and I started doing audition seminars for their students. And I really enjoyed the experience, and I started doing some private coaching, and it's just sort of built from there. And with the number of decades I've spent in this industry and taking it seriously, and having been a student of the craft myself, I enjoy giving back, and I do it because I have a lot of fun, and it's very gratifying for myself. I do occasionally write. I'm married to a writer, someone who's been published in fiction and has been a staff writer on television, has sold film scripts, and so my wife, she's very talented, and occasionally lets me ride her coattails, and we do projects together. We've sold a pilot to Sony in the past, and we've just finished a screenplay this past year that's making the rounds in LA, and I'm starting on another one right now. And so,
what already is published from you?
Well, the pilot was just purchased by Sony. It never made it to air, and the script making the rounds is a romantic comedy, and I don't want to talk about what I'm writing now because it's I don't want to jinx it, but it's just something that we can do together, and we have a lot of fun. I really enjoy actually working with my wife on that in that capacity, and I think she does too. You'll have to ask her. So far, she lets me in the writing room still, so that's a good sign.
Okay, and which name is she publishing?
Becky Southwell is her name, and yeah, so I hope we do more in the future.
It sounded a bit like because you told, it needs a lot of seat cushion to write, a lot of discipline.
Well, it does. It does need a lot of discipline.
That's something that's a hint on. Really.
Yeah, well, I mean, I always feel it's such a stretch for me to call myself a writer, because I know the discipline and the talent required, and my training obviously is as an actor. I've not been a lifelong writer. My wife has certainly put in the years, and she's very talented, and so I'm really an apprentice to her, and so I know I'm very fortunate in being able to work with someone who is so experienced, and together we do fun things, and it would be very different than if she were just writing it on her own. So I do contribute to the process, and I learn more and more each time we set out to work on something new.
So yeah, nearly final question. We heard that you're doing other creative stuff. The name Renaissance Man came along. So do you do singing or design?
Well, no. I just like to always be creating, and I have a bit of an arts background. I used to do portraits for a bit of money when I was first starting out as an actor, and when I left high school, I had possible ambitions of going into the advertising world as an illustrator. So I went to college very briefly for that before I really had committed that I was going to be an actor full time. And furniture has always been a passion of mine, and I've been building furniture for 20 some odd years, and I'm always trying to keep a wood shop up and running somewhere, whether I rent a space or it's just in my own garage. And so I used to have pieces on display in Los Angeles over the years, and it's not something I really wanted to turn into a business, so I've really just kept it for myself and the odd commission piece here and there for friends and family. But it's something that's just my own passion, my own hobby, and I really enjoy it, and it's something I can just lose myself in for hours at a time. So it's something that I've always enjoyed.
So, thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.